Alright, I'm one of those Tekken fans that hates how much of a joke Paul has become over the years. And I know a lot of Tekken fans hate how much of a joke Paul is too. But the crazy thing is, going back and looking at it, I think Paul may have been a joke the entire time and we've just never noticed. Going back to the original 3 Tekken games, the basis of Paul's story this entire time was he was always the runner-up. Paul was always that second guy. He was always close and just could never get over the hump. He fought Kazuya to a draw in Tekken 1. He fought him to another draw in Tekken 2. And then in Tekken 3, the story, depending on how you look at it, is either he fought Jin to a draw and then beat Ogre, or he never fought Jin, he just fought Ogre, beat Ogre, and left the tournament without knowing that Ogre transformed and then Jin beat him from there. So basically Paul borderline got robbed out of the first 3 Tekken tournaments or came very close to winning and just never could. So there was always this running gag, almost sad runner-up story to Paul that had been taking place. But I guess looking at the original games, you just looked at it as that's how tough Paul was and that's how badass he was, which is true, by the way. But in hindsight, instead of us looking at it as that's just how tough Paul was, that he hung in there with devils, quite literally, maybe it was just a running gag from the start and we never paid attention to it. Because this also exists in Tekken 2. Not to mention the fact that Paul also has a secondary side story in the original Tekken games too, and that is his feud with a bear. Like, we also can't ignore the fact that in the entirety of Paul's history in Tekken, he's been feuding with the grizzly bear. I can't make this up, like one of Kuma's biggest rivals in Tekken, this fighting grizzly bear is Paul Phoenix. Which, interestingly enough, going back to Law's ending in Tekken 2, most of Law's ending in Tekken has Paul in them. And they're never good. Not that they're not good, like they're not entertaining, they're hilarious, but they're not good for Paul. It always portrays him like some type of an idiot or something dumb's happening. It's just gotten more and more ridiculous over the years. Hell, Paul's Tekken 3 ending is him getting a speeding ticket. Like, why is he getting this ticket? Why is this his ending? The closest I think we ever got to like a serious Paul ending outside of maybe the first Tekken game is his Tekken 4 ending, where Paul becomes a shell of himself and then he sort of gets back to his roots and rides off in a motorcycle. That might be the closest thing to authentic Paul, or the way that everyone wants to view Paul, that we've ever seen. Outside of that, he's fighting bears, he's fighting aliens, he's doing stupid stuff with forest law, he's doing stupid stuff with martial law. This is Paul at this point. I think with Tekken 8, they just said to hell with it and they made his character actually look as goofy as he is at this point. Which, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I hate his Tekken 8 character design. But anyways, it's actually a bit of a revelation to me that I always thought Paul was this serious Tekken character that was badass and could hang with the Mishimas. Which, once again, he is, but Paul has kind of sort of always been a joke, and we just never paid attention to the gag that's been in front of us since like 1996. Hopefully they can tone that down in the future, but I highly doubt it because it's a gag that's still working for Namco. But I will say, we need more of this looking Paul and less of whatever it is that this is going forward. I hate this design. This has got to stop. But let me know what you think. Do you think Paul should be more of a serious character? Do you think he's kind of this mixture of both? Or do you think that Paul has just always been regulated as a gag character the entire time in Tekken? But anyways, those are just my thoughts. You all have a good one, and I'm out.